What's happening, Hardscapers? Today we're going to talk about the hardest part of installing a segmental retaining wall and how you can make this process so much easier for yourself. Let's get into this. So there are many steps of the process of installing a segmental retaining wall system that are difficult, but there's one part in particular that is the hardest, and it affects the rest of your install of that retaining wall. Everything from the excavation, disposing of that material, bringing in new material, preparing the base, preparing that initial course, all the way to building up that retaining wall, the drainage system in behind it, the caps on top, and finishing up that project. There's a lot of steps in that process, and there's one that is the most difficult. But we're gonna provide you with a tip that's gonna make it a lot easier throughout this process. And that process is in that initial course installation. Making sure it's completely level is the most difficult part, and it's going to be possibly the most time consuming in that process. And it's important that you get it precise because it's going to affect the remainder of that wall. And this is especially even more challenging if you're trying to hit a specific height. Say in the case of building steps out of segmental retaining wall blocks, making sure your step heights are uniform or getting to a specific height to match a existing system or structure. That's going to add some complexity to preparing that initial course and making sure you're preparing it to the exact height you want it to be at. And that planning starts with the excavation because you want to make sure that your retaining wall has a minimum of 6 to 8 inches of a base prepared. We typically aim for that 8 inches plus a minimum of 6-inch embedment of that retaining wall below the final grade of that area. So when you're planning that perfect height, you want to make sure that you have a zero mark to measure down from to ensure that you have excavated enough material. And when you're preparing your base, you're getting that minimum 6 inches in there, plus that 6-inch embedment. You can use levels and string lines to make sure that you are measuring down from a specific area and knowing the height of your retaining wall block to calculate to that 0 point where you're trying to hit with that cap installed that you've excavated enough material. So for example, if your 0 point is an existing structure that you're trying to match to, your wall blocks are 6 inches each, and you know you're going to have 2 exposed courses, that's 12 inches total, plus your 6-inch embedment, plus your 6-inch base, that's 2 feet. You know that you need to be 2 feet down from that existing structure for your excavation to start building up that wall. But it also gets a little bit more complicated because you have to measure in the height of your cap on top of that retaining wall. We usually install a 2-inch natural stone cap, so now we need to be 2 feet 2 inches below that 0 point to the depth of our trench. We like to use a high precision altimeter for this, which is like a digital water level that helps us plan this out appropriately. So let's show you what we're doing here. We're going to put our U level on the actual coping units because that is top of grade. So we will zero that out. And then at the bottom of our trench, we should be at least 14 inches. And we're pretty good there. We'll have about a 9-inch base with that. But you can also use a rotary laser level to be able to plan this out. Like I said, that planning is complicated if you're trying to get to a specific point in the height of your wall. But if you're a little bit more fluid, say a garden wall or a retaining wall retaining a certain slope, this planning is still helpful, but you don't have to be exact. Though you still want to make sure that you have that 6 to 8 inch minimum depth for that base plus that 6-inch embedded course. What is really the hardest part of installing a segmental retaining wall is making sure that initial course is perfectly level front to back and side to side. So after you've installed your base and you've compacted it, what we like to do is screed a bedding layer. We like to use HPB, high performance bedding, or 1/4 inch clean stone, and screeding it out 1 inch on top of our base using screed bars that are just iron gas pipes that you can get at any home improvement center. And you just screed that material on top of your base level. This does not count in the calculation of that base material, so it doesn't count for your minimum base depth. But what it does is it provides you with a layer that's completely level that you can then set your retaining wall blocks on, use a dead blow hammer to get them in place. But there's very minimal setting in those retaining wall blocks side to side and front to back when you're trying to level them, as opposed to getting as good as you can with your base material and then trying to set those blocks in on top of that base material that might be slightly off, and trying to add a little bit more base material here and there to get it completely level. So what we do for this screeding is we set our screed bars perpendicular to our trench at the distance to which our screed can actually reach. So in this case, we're using an 8-foot level. It allows us to screed 8-foot sections at a time, and we just level our screed bars to one another. We level that initial screed bar front to back with a level, set our second screed bar, level it to that initial screed bar using that 8-foot level. Once again, front and back of that screed bar. You may need to build up the screed bar with a little bit more material, or use a deadblow hammer to hammer that screed bar into the base a little bit to adjust it slightly to get it completely level to one another. Then we pour our bedding layer in between them and screed back. Take that initial screed bar and hop it over the next one to start that next section, and just repeat as you go. This screeding of this material is going to save you a lot of time and headache in trying to get each block completely level, because once it's screeded in place, we then fill in the voids of those screed bars, set our retaining wall block, and it should be completely level at that point. Double check it with a 2-foot level, and now you're just setting one retaining wall block after another, once again checking that it's completely level, as well as making sure it's completely level to the initial piece or the prior piece that you've actually placed. And that's where it's going to save you a lot of time. Just because a retaining wall block that you've placed is completely level doesn't mean it's level to the prior piece that you've placed. But when you use this screeding method, you're ensuring that you have a level surface across the entire section. And so in theory, when you place a retaining wall block beside another retaining wall block, they'll be level to one another with just minor adjustments as you go. This process is incredibly crucial because any minor imperfections as you build that retaining wall up is only going to become more and more apparent, and retaining walls need to be built completely level. But after this initial course has been set, all you need to do is just stack block on top of block, backfilling into the backfilled area, drainage area, with a drainage pipe. And if you want to learn more about that process, we have a video on that that's going to show up here that you can click on to learn more about the entire process of installing a segmental retaining wall system. Hey, I hope this video has helped you in some way. If it has, please give this video a like, comment below any questions you may have, and subscribe to this YouTube channel for more hardscaping content like this. Thank you so much for watching.